Brad,
Ben.
it's no secret that some of us in this office have a deep love of Persona. But the game that always gets the lion's share of the attention is Persona 4.
Sure, yeah.
There's another game that I've loved for a long time and you've just recently fallen in love with.
No, I fell in love with it a while ago. I just finished it.
That love came full circle.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you finished it, Persona 3.
Yes.
It's both very similar and very different. And I think it's those differences that make it so interesting. Completely different vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way darker vibe.
Yeah. Way darker. I mean, it's it's kind of the thing that people always bring up, but a bunch of kids shooting themselves in the head to summon what are essentially demons.
Oh, it's the best way to summon, too.
It's the best
way
to
so
summon.
awesome.
Right. Like, the guns were the thing in Persona 3, and in Persona 4 the thing was kind of glasses, and you're like, the guns were a little bit cooler.
It was the cards, right, in 4?
Yes, that's how they summoned, but I feel like the iconography I see what you're saying. The glasses, yeah.
Gotcha.
So now that you've just recently finished it, how do you feel? Give me your thoughts, your loves, your
Really
hates.
liked it.
Okay.
Really like I think you and me had to talk about this earlier. If we said Persona 4 was a 10, this is like a 9.5 or a 9.
Right. And a lot of the things that make Persona 4 so great were built upon in Persona 3. I mean, you had the introduction, really, of social links the way we understand them now. The sort of high school setting, going to classes, taking tests, all that stuff. I mean, Persona has always been about a group of high school kids, but you really felt that in Persona 3 and the relationship that you built up with people, going to the dorm every night. And honestly, I think some of the characters in Persona 3 are among the best characters we've ever seen in any Shin Megami Tensei game.
Yeah.
Who would you say, if you had to pick one, was your standout character?
Who I'm trying to think. I really like Mitsuru. I had her with me probably the entire game. I love Junpei. I love Junpei. I thought Junpei got a really awesome character growth arc.
Absolutely.
I don't think we should maybe talk about why, but
yeah. What's interesting is as someone who plays a lot of JRPGs, one of the downfalls of that genre is characters fall into archetypes very easily, and they don't really ever get out of them.
Yeah.
Junpei, when you encounter him, and for a lot of the game, he's kind of a slacker. He's your typical, I don't really care about this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to study dude. But eventually, I'm not going to say what it is, but he finds something to care about. And it's a really interesting progression. And it's those moments, I think, that have ultimately made Persona so cool, is they sort of don't fall into the same traps that a lot of RPGs do.
Yeah, I actually thought a lot of the characters had a really significant character development, too. Completely changed my opinion about some of them.
Yeah. Which
I feel is kind of rare, like Fuka.
Yeah.
When I got Fuka, I was just like, okay, whatever, Fuka.
Right.
And I ended up loving Fuka at the end of the game.
Exactly. And, for all intents and purposes, Fuka is just kind of this assistant character, but the amount of depth that they go into with her is pretty awesome. One of the more controversial aspects of Persona 3 is Tartarus. So during the day, you go to school and you take tests and you do social activities, but at night, and sort of the one dungeon in the game is this giant tower called Tartarus, and I think it's like 230 floors.
It's very long.
Yeah, it's very, very long. You spend the entire game going through it, and the criticism is that it just kind of feels like the same thing over and over.
It does. Yeah. I got there was definitely times where I was going through Tartarus and I was like, okay, I'm getting really bored of doing this. I'm like, I just need to get to the boss, and I would just literally run through the floor as fast as possible. In 4, they added kind of like 3 kind of had somewhat themes inside them, but 4 really took it to the next level. You go into the bathhouse that, or you go inside the video game world.
Right.
3 was just kind of like, hey, you're still in Tartarus. Here's a different wallpaper.
Absolutely, and for as much as Persona 3 did with sort of the development of the characters and how you got to spend time with them, Persona 4, as you were saying, made the places personal. They made the areas that you were going to part of the story in a really interesting way. And, Tartarus is hugely significant, but you don't always get that sense as you're going through it.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, there's another part to Persona 3 that not a lot of people have played. Yeah. So the first part of Persona 3 is called The Journey, and then the second part is called The Answer, which you can only play in Persona 3 FES, the PlayStation 2 game.
So I did not play that one. I played on the PSP.
Will you go back and play the answer, or will you
No,
like watch it?
I watched a video on it. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go through FES and play all this.
How do you feel the answer wrapped things up?
I liked it.
Yeah.
You know, like again, 3 is a little more dark, and I like the tone about it. I don't want to like say what happens for people out there who haven't played it, but it went a way I didn't really expect, which I thought was really cool.
Definitely. Now, you are kind of caught up in a way. You've played through Persona 3, you've seen the answer, you've played through Persona 4. Are you going to play Persona 4 Arena?
Oh, hell yes.
And Ultimax.
Yes.
That's something I think a lot of people don't understand is, personally, I think Arena and Ultimax do an excellent job of not only combining the characters of Persona 3 and Persona 4, but continuing that story in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
And you see, because the Persona 3 characters are older in Arena, you see how much they've changed. And
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Junpei, if you're a fan of Yukari, Mitsuru, all these characters, it's really cool to see where they ended up.
Yeah, for Persona 3 for me was like the last piece of the puzzle I was missing to be able to go on to these next things like Arena and Ultimate Arena. Is that what it's called?
Ultimax.
Then now Persona Q.
Right. Which I still haven't finished.
Shame.
I know. I'm
Shame on you.
Yep, shameful. That's actually, I think, a good point to end on. That involves Persona, but it has a broader reach. With a lot of these games, with a lot of these series, that we care about the story so much, we get so attached to the characters. The problem is that they take so much time. Where do you think the cutoff point is? Do you think it's always important to go back and play all of the games in a series, or just kind of jump in wherever you want, or jump in with the latest entry? It's a question that I find difficult to answer a lot of times.
It's really a case-by-case basis. Like if you play, for example, like a Final Fantasy, you can hop in, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you've played some of the other ones, you'll get little hints and everything like that, or little Easter eggs for fans of the old ones. Like I'm sure there is that in Persona 4. You get a little hint.
Yeah, you do.
What happened?
Yeah, if you go back to Gekugane.
There might be stuff from previous Personas that I don't know about
Right.
that are in the other ones, which you beat all the other Personas, didn't you?
I've finished Persona 1.
Okay.
There's Persona 2 is in 2 parts. I finished
Right.
the first part. I haven't actually finished the second part yet. Are you going to go back and play Persona 1?
I don't think so.
2? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna challenge you. I think Persona 2 in a lot of ways is very different, but it is kind of like almost just as good as the other ones.
But the thing
you'll be
is,
surprised.
you can't play that other part.
Yes, you can. So the second part is on PSN.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, little known fact.
Are they both on PSN, like both parts then?
So yes, but the only way you can play the first part in North America is on the PSP, which might be a limiting factor for some people. But you played Persona 3 on the PSP. I challenge you. At some point in the future, we should do a Persona 2 just played.
I mean, I would love to play it. Our backlogs are obviously huge.
Right.
Which is like total first world problem kind of
You're
thing.
right. It is. It really is. It's always so weird complaining about this stuff because when you get just a little bit of perspective.
But like, if I had the opportunity to play, I would play. Yeah, I really enjoy those games, so I would like to find out more about that universe and everything.
Awesome. Now we just got to pester Huber to play Persona 3.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.